The Vikings made a big swing in the draft after losing Kirk Cousins. They traded the 42nd and 188th picks in the 2024 draft, plus a 2025 second-round pick to the Houston Texans for the Texans' number 1 overall pick, or excuse me, first-round pick, number 23 overall, and then pick number 232. Reminiscent, I think, Sully, of the Eagles making this kind of play in the draft when they made their move to go get Carson Wentz, sort of setting up a pre-draft trade.
Right, and certainly something that was on my radar up here in New England with the Patriots having the number 3 overall pick. Is that a team that they're targeting, the Minnesota Vikings, to possibly say, hey, listen, if you don't love quarterback X that falls to you, maybe we want to be the ones that jump up? Or do they jump up?
Have you heard the conspiracy theory with KJ Osborne?
Go ahead, let's hear it.
It's that the Patriots signed KJ Osborne to kick in a compensatory pick for the Vikings that the Vikings can then use later to once the comp picks are announced to trade to the Patriots in the future. It's a great conspiracy theory.
All right, it's fine with me. I mean, listen, I would much rather if I'm in New England, if I'm one of these teams that are inside the top 3, whether it's Washington or New England, I would much rather take the quarterback up top and take the gamble, just because you never know how high you're going to get ever again. But if you're telling me you're going to get 11, 23, and then maybe next year's one, I don't know, like some one of these crazy returns that we've seen in the NFL draft before, you have to at least think about it. Now, is it the Patriots at number 3? Maybe. I actually think it's probably somewhere in the top 5. What is it? Is the New York Giants that have number 5? Or, I'm sorry, no, it's the
Giants are at 6, yeah.
Whatever. The Chargers. Yes, I'm sorry. It's the Los Angeles Chargers at number 5. That to me kind of feels like the team that could possibly move out of that pick, collect more assets to build around Justin Herbert, and maybe that's the team they jump up and select J.J. McCarthy out of Michigan. That to me feels a little bit more plausible. I actually bet that earlier, just in full disclosure.
What was the bet? What was the bet? J.J. McCarthy.
J.J. McCarthy, number 5 overall pick. It was, I think, like 5 or 6 to 1.
Maybe you trade Justin Herbert and you draft J.J. McCarthy. That's how you really.
Sure.
So if Sully's not on this podcast on April 28th, it is because he hit it big betting on J.J. McCarthy to the Vikings. Yeah, I think the most interesting thing here is that the 23rd overall pick originally belonged to the Browns, and then they gave to the Texans as part of the Deshaun Watson trade.
Oh, that's right.
And now here we are. It is once again changing hands again, and it could lead to a team acquiring a quarterback. And so, yeah, I think you guys hit the nail on the head. This does feel like ammo for the Vikings to move up probably into the top 5. And I think there's a couple teams that have an interesting choice here. I mean, the Arizona Cardinals, do they want to stay at 4 and take a receiver? Probably. But if you tell them, hey, look, you get to pick 11, 23, and a first or second round pick next year, I think you have to seriously think about that. I mean, you can't just totally discount that. So not just the Patriots at 3, but the Cardinals at 4. And considering the losses the Chargers have had this year with Mike Williams, trading Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler leaving free agency, they have to think about accruing more picks. So I think definitely the Cardinals and Chargers both seem like good possible trade partners.
Well, I'll say this, Breach, real quick. I do think it brings an interesting dynamic with 4 and 5 because the New York Giants are at 6. You have this team in the Vikings that now have these 2 first-round picks that can vault up. If you're New York and you possibly want another quarterback, if you want to jump into that range to replace Daniel Jones, maybe you have to jump to 4 to beat someone who's at 5. I just think that there's a lot of things that could happen here over the next month or so with those teams in particular.
Yeah, the Vikings making this move and setting everything up really creates a lot of draft spice because we don't know what the interest level is for the Patriots and the Cardinals moving down and how aggressive Minnesota is going to be. Clearly, when you set the stage publicly like this by making that initial move, you are letting the league know that you are all out there lurking, potentially trying to make a move up, and it is usually for a quarterback when you do that initial kind of move. So wouldn't be surprised at all if we get some more drama in the 2024 NFL draft as we get closer to it. Obviously, make sure and listen and watch with the First Pick podcast with Ryan Wilson and Rick Spielman on the CBS Sports Podcast Network.